Hi, and welcome back to our channel. I'm Jennifer, and last year, 2023, I challenged myself to read a different Catholic devotional every single month, which I did, and here they all are. It was a good spiritual exercise, and for the most part, I really enjoyed it. But as the year went on, I started to realize that I was definitely enjoying some of the devotionals more than others. So I guess you could say I saw my Catholic spiritual reading style evolving. And that did get me curious as to how I might compare with other Catholic readers out there. So today we are going to do a fun exercise. I am going to help you determine your Catholic devotional reading style. We're going to take a look at all of the books, and then you can determine where you fall on the spectrum, and let me know down in the comments. Okay, so out of the 12 books I read last year, I identified about 6 different spiritual reading styles. Now, I think it's true that some of these books could probably fall into more than one category, but nevertheless, we're going with 6. Category number 1 is the Catholic Minimalist. Are you a Catholic minimalist? Do you want a devotional that is short, streamlined, to the point, that's only going to take you a couple of minutes to read a day, and at the same time deliver something very spiritual and worthy of reading? Short does not mean superficial here. If that is you, then you might enjoy this series of books, 30 Days with the Saints by Thomas J. Crowell. I read 3 of these last year: 30 Days with St. Therese, 30 Days with the Irish Mystics, and 30 Days with St. Paul. So these are small, they don't take up a lot of room, they don't cause a lot of clutter, and they are ideal, I think, if you are a Catholic minimalist. Okay, style number 2. Are you a vintage Catholic reader? Maybe you like the older authors. You like that more traditional, flowy style. There might be poetry thrown in there. A lot of these books are also illustrated. Show you a picture, things like this, nice vintage pictures in here. If you like the romance and style of the older writers, and you're not in a hurry and you have time to read 3 or 4 pages a day, then you might like St. Michael and the Angels, or the 30-day novena to St. Joseph. This book, Stories About Purgatory, probably could also fall into the vintage category, but I have a separate category for this one. We'll get to that later. Style number 3. Are you a Marian Catholic reader? Do you have a special devotion to the Blessed Mother? You never get tired of reading about her. You love all the stories of the saints who were devoted to her. You love soaking up their wisdom, and you just can't get enough of Mary. If that's you, I have 2 devotionals for you, and the first one is How They Love Mary, 28 Life-Changing Stories of Devotion to Our Lady by Father Ed Looney, which was so good. Some of these are saints, some of these are people who are more modern, but all the stories are excellent and wonderful. Highly recommend. Also, you might like Advent with Our Lady of Fatima. I just finished this one at the end of December. It was so good. So you can't go wrong with either of these if you want to spend a little extra time with the Blessed Mother every day. Category number 4. Are you a modern day Catholic reader? You're a modernist. You're not interested in books that were written 100, 200 years ago. You're definitely not wanting poetry in your devotional book. You want something that's practical and yet really speaks to our modern times, something that takes Jesus and brings him into the craziness of our modern world. If that's you, then you will like Jesus, I Trust in You, a 30-day personal retreat with the Litany of Trust. The Litany of Trust is that beautiful prayer written by Sister Faustina Maria Pia. In the book, she takes you through her beautiful Litany of Trust prayer line by line and shows you that even though our world is crazy, yes, and we have every right to feel anxious or depressed or afraid, we can still turn to Jesus. We can still say, Jesus, I trust in you. So this is a great one if you want something that's fresh and modern and something that will really apply to your present situation. Catholic reading style number 5, the Adventurous Catholic reader. Are you a Catholic reader who is in it for the story? You love a good tale. You don't care who wrote it or when or in what style. You just want to hear what it has to say. If that's you, then you will enjoy 30 Days for the Holy Souls, stories about purgatory and what they reveal. This one, again, is written in a little bit more of a vintage style. It does include some poetry, but it has amazing stories of different saints who were devoted to the Holy Souls, stories about the Holy Souls themselves. It also has a 30-day ongoing novena for the Holy Souls. So this one definitely is for the adventurous reader. So the 6th and last Catholic reading style is the outside of the box Catholic reader. So you're a non-traditionalist. You will take something that you've never seen before, presented in a unique way or in a non-traditional way, and you're just going to roll with it. You're fine with it. You enjoy it. It is a refreshing change. If that's you, I have 3 books for you. And the first one is Restless Till We Rest in You, a retreat based on the writings of St. Augustine. This one actually is a 60-day devotional, but I read it over 30 days instead. And in it, the author, Paul Thigpen, takes different readings from sermons and books of St. Augustine and combines them with Bible verses and saint quotes. So you have a morning reading and an evening reading. So there's a little bit more reading involved. But as I was reading along, I got kind of familiar with St. Augustine's writings. I could read his quote and I would guess, like, oh, I think this must have been from a sermon, or no, I think this must have been from the Confessions. So as the book went along, I felt like I really got to know St. Augustine better. And so that has led to one of my Catholic goals for this year, is to go back and reread the complete Confessions all in one shot. So this was a good one. Then you might also like You Shall Not Want, a 30-day spiritual journey based on the Psalms. Again, based on the Psalms, this is outside the box in that the Psalms in here are combinations of different Psalms put together, and the Psalms are not numbered. So that was kind of weird, because unless you're familiar with every single Psalm, which I'm not, you won't know which one it is, which I found a little bit disturbing. But if you're a go with the flow, anything goes type of reader, that probably won't bother you at all. And then the last one for all you outside the box Catholic readers out there is this little book, Praying with John the 23rd, which actually isn't even a 30-day devotional. It's a 9-day novena booklet, but I spread it out over 30 days because I love John the 23rd and I wanted to spend a month with him. Okay, so this book was definitely unique, but it totally worked for me. This one tells you exactly what you need to do every day. It tells you, part 1, I make the sign of the cross. I read some verses from the Bible. Here they are. I reflect on the text, and then it has all the text. I think about John the 23rd, and it has a story about him. I pray for myself and the church, on and on and on. So it gives you 7 steps for each day of prayer, and I love that because it took away all the hard work for me. I knew exactly what I had to do for each step, and that kind of freed my mind up to really ponder what I was reading, or think about John the 23rd, or think about Jesus. So that was a different type of style for me, but I really, really enjoyed it. Okay, so that was a look at 6 different Catholic devotional reading styles. Did you see yourself in any of those styles? I'll run through them quickly for you one more time. So we had the vintage Catholic reader. You like the more traditional, old-timey style of writing. The adventurous Catholic reader who loves a good story. The modern reader who wants something to apply to our times right here, right now. The Catholic minimalist reader, you just want what you get, you're going to read it, you're going to reflect on it. The outside the box Catholic reader, not afraid to try something new. And then the Marian Catholic reader who loves the Blessed Mother and just can't get enough of reading about her. Okay, so I'll tell you what my style was. I was surprised, or maybe not so surprised, to discover that I am definitely more of a minimalist reader. I really liked the size and style, the format of these books. I think that John the 23rd also could fall into that more minimalist type of reading style. These don't take up much room, they don't take up much time, but they make a big impact. I would also say I'm a bit of a modernist / Marian reader. So I say minimalist first, then modern / Marian type of reader. And then my least favorite reading style, and I hate to say this, but I am not a vintage Catholic reader as far as devotionals go. Now, I do love Catholic vintage books. I've read a ton of them, especially historical fiction. But these vintage prayer books, sometimes I really struggled with the old-timey writing. The 30-day novena to St. Joseph, oh my goodness, I love you, St. Joseph, but oh golly, there were times when I could hardly get through the flowery language in this book. And then St. Michael and the Archangels, and also this one, Stories About Purgatory. Poetry, so much poetry, is another poem from Father Faber. God love you, Father Faber, but you wrote a lot of poetry. I did have a clear favorite and clear unfavorite. And my very favorite was John the 23rd. It was a minimalist type of presentation, but also outside of the box, and a delightful surprise for me after reading a lot of poetry and a lot of verbose type of prose. I just thought this was a refreshing change, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then my least favorite of the 12 was definitely You Shall Not Want, a spiritual journey based on the Psalms. Again, the Psalms aren't numbered in here. Different Psalms are combined. The wording is changed a little bit in places. So that bugged me that I could never know which Psalm exactly is this. But then also I felt like the wording was a bit new agey in several places. I just felt like this wasn't maybe hardcore Catholic enough for me, if that makes sense. So let me know down in the comments if you've read any of these and what you thought. What was your reading style? How do you weigh in on the Catholic reading style spectrum? So I hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope it was helpful, and I will see you next time. Bye.